Who do you think is going to win the AFC West this year and why?
So I'm going to be bold and I'm going to say I think that the LA Chargers are going to win the division. Now I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up because I feel that this needs explanation because of how competitive this division is. In my personal opinion, I think that the Raiders are going to be last. Now, Kyle and I were talking about this. This may be the division to where everybody is above 500 and maybe even three of these teams find a way to make the playoffs. It's going to be tough, it's going to be weird, and it's going to be a really competitive division. But again, I think that just the acquisition of Devontae Adams does not solidify the injury-prone Darren Waller, the injury-prone Josh Jacobs. Obviously, you go and acquire Chandler Jones. Again, another injury-prone player. You go and you trade away Ngakoue for an injury-prone cornerback from the Colts in Rock Ya-Sin, who's had hot and cold flashes. I know that you have Max Crosby as an elite pass rusher, and I also understand that you've had trouble in the secondary as of late. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying I don't know if Derek Carr is going to be anywhere close to matching what Aaron Rodgers was able to formulate with Devontae Adams. I know they were teammates in college. I just genuinely don't believe that that is going to be enough to catapult them into competing for a division title. Next, I'm going to have the Kansas City Chiefs. I know everyone's going to erupt when I say this, but again, this division is competitive, and I'm solely going off of what I know. They lost Tyreek Hill. Chris Jones can never stay healthy. They lost Tyrann Mathieu. We don't know if Justin Reid is going to fit into this system the way that Tyron did. The secondary of the Chiefs has been in and out at the least. The receiving core outside of Tyreek Hill was never something to brag about. Juju Smith-Schuster, injury prone himself. Pringle, I don't necessarily know if he's going to be able to do anything on this roster. There's so many just question marks. Other than Travis Kelce, there isn't somebody that you can say, oh, yeah, he's going to go out there and he's going to dominate. Josh Gordon, I don't know if he's going to do anything. We know that Clyde Edwards-Helaire has had his fair share of injuries that he's battling as well. Orlando Brown was injured last year. The Chiefs' offensive line is a little bit inconsistent at times. Patrick Mahomes came back down to reality and had a little bit of a slump to start the year last year. There's a lot of question marks in Kansas City. Is Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL when healthy? 100%. Josh Allen is right behind him, so I will say it's kind of like more like 1A, 1B now. But still, I will give the nod to Patrick because he does have a Super Bowl, he does have an MVP, he does have a Super Bowl MVP. So we'll leave that conversation for another day. But again, I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to be under 500. I just believe that the Chiefs are the third best team in this division. I have faith that the Denver Broncos were a quarterback away from competing for a Super Bowl. And I said that last season because their defense is a top 10 defense. Their offense, when healthy, was a potential top 15, top 12 offense. And now you bring in a Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback that knows how to get the job done. He hasn't had an offensive line and he hasn't had a good defense in well over 5 years. The Broncos have Courtland Sutton, they have Melvin Gordon, they have Javonte Williams, and they have Jerry Jeudy. They did lose Tim Patrick and Noah Fant. Obviously, Tim Patrick tore his ACL in camp, and Noah Fant was traded to Seattle for the Russell Wilson trade. But I believe that with the offensive-minded head coach that they just got from Green Bay, and of course now the head coach of the freaking Broncos is going to escape me. But again, we all know and we all saw what he was able to do with Aaron Rodgers and just Devontae Adams. You give this coach the overall offense that the Denver Broncos are going to have. I believe that this is going to be a very, very potent offense. And with the good defense that they had last year, I think that this is going to be a very, very tight race for the number one seed in the AFC West. But I'm going to give it to the Chargers. Justin Herbert smashing records within his first couple of seasons. Confidence, swagger, the ability to put a ball on a dime, the ability to throw the ball downfield, composure. I feel that Justin Herbert is right there with Joe Burrow. And just like we talked about the top 25 or the top 5 quarterbacks under 25, I think that Justin Herbert is literally the 1B to Joe Burrow's 1A. And I say that because Joe Burrow has been able to win and go farther. Even though he tore his ACL in his first year, he took the Bengals to a better position last year in the Super Bowl. Now, you look and you say, well, what have the Chargers done this season? Khalil Mack, extended Bosa, J.C. Jackson. They re-signed Mike Williams. I mean, they have done so many things to this already deadly roster, and you've made it stronger. You've solidified the defensive side of the ball, which was the biggest issue for them. You get a number one corner, you get an elite pass rusher, and then you go and you re-sign your number 2 wide receiver next to Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler's healthy this year. Jesse Jackson's healthy this year. If you can keep Justin Herbert upright, limit the turnovers for the bad throws that Justin Herbert tends to make sometimes in crunch time, this team can easily win anywhere from 12 to 13 games, in my opinion. Again, I understand that this is going to shock a lot of people and piss a lot of people off, especially Chiefs fans. But based on what I've seen throughout the offseason and just in history with the rosters as they are assimilated, as I've gone over them, I think that this is going to be a tight race for who wins. But I do believe that the Chargers are going to be first. I do believe that the Broncos are going to be second. The Chiefs will be third. And that, unfortunately, that rounds out for the Vegas Raiders to be fourth.